So, you want to know if you can be a VTuber while using Linux? The short answer is yes, and this video series will explain how to do that, as well as address some shortcomings and problems you might face along the way, but also how to fix all of it. My name is Euric Serrinia. First, you want to go to exure.balena.io and download Balena Exure for Windows. Next, go to linuxmint.com/download and download Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition. Choose a server close to your location for a better downloading speed. Linux Mint Cinnamon Edition is the Linux distro that I use, and I find it quite pleasing. It is perhaps one of the most user-friendly Linux distros that exist. It makes for a great first experience for Windows users. After downloading, the first thing you want to do is to insert an empty USB drive into your PC. Do make sure it is at least 8 GB in size. Next, you want to run the Balena Exure setup. In the program, select the Linux file you downloaded, then choose your USB drive and hit the flash button. Balena will now flash your USB drive, deleting everything on it, and create a Linux boot and installer. Just wait for it to finish. Now that everything is ready, restart your PC and enter your BIOS. The button to enter the BIOS may vary greatly depending on your motherboard, but F12 or the delete button seem to work for many different systems. Just look at the screen and see the key that it tells you to press, and press that one. When I do this, the screen I'm presented with looks like this. Make sure the Start Linux Mint option is highlighted and simply hit Enter. Linux Mint will boot up almost instantly, and on the desktop you will see an icon with the name Linux Mint. Double click it, choose your language, keyboard and keyboard layout. For media codices, I would recommend installing multimedia codices. They're quite useful. For installation type, I chose Erase Disk and install Linux Mint. This will erase everything on your disk and change the partition format to ext4, which is used exclusively for Linux and is not compatible with Windows. Next, choose your region, then fill out some basic information about who you are. You can literally write anything you want, it is not checked by anyone. Just write something you think is cool, something that you can remember. And now you just need to wait for it to install, and after installation I recommend that you restart your system. When you do, on the next boot screen it will ask you to remove the installation medium, that is the USB drive, unplug it and then hit Enter. Now that you have installed Linux Mint, there are a few things that you should do. Think of it as good practice so that you will hate yourself less in the future. And you may even thank me for this by clicking the like button below and subscribe to the channel. First, open the Update Manager by clicking the shield icon on the bottom right. and install all updates that are available. This will greatly improve your system. Next, open the Start menu by hitting the Super key, that is the Windows key if you're new, and type the word driver. Then you will find an icon with the name Driver Manager. Open it and it will automatically look for drivers if you're using an NVIDIA RTX graphics card, there might be a driver here that you might probably need to install. I have an AMD graphics card, so all my drivers are already installed with the kernel. Next is to find the firewall through the Start menu and enable it. Make sure that incoming is set to deny and outgoing is set to allow. That is it. Finally, open the software manager and find OBS Studio. Select Flatpak and hit install. It has been 10 days since I recorded everything, and I see that I missed one important point. My system looks very different now, but do not worry, I will explain that in a future video. Open the Start menu and type Timeshift. It will ask to authenticate, so do that. Click the button named Wizard if the wizard has not appeared already. Select rsync. Choose the drive where you installed Linux or the one with the type ext4. Choose how many and how frequently you want snapshots to be created. I have chosen daily and I want my system to keep 5 snapshots. This means that when I create the 6th snapshot, it will delete the first one to maintain only 5 copies. This is in case that you install or accidentally break something through the terminal, like deleting your bootloader, as I did. You can simply boot up using the USB drive, enter Timeshift, and restore your system back to a previous working version, and get back your bootloader. Please note that snapshots only replaces system files and settings. So basically, your personal files and apps should be just fine. After you've set up the snapshots, I highly recommend creating one manually. These are tagged as O and do not count towards the scheduled limit that you set, so they won't be deleted. O stands for on demand, D stands for daily, etc. Only the ones marked with D will actually be deleted. Very useful feature. And that is it. With this, you should be able to get started using Linux Mint, as we have set up all the basics that are necessary. And if you found this video helpful, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and watch the next video in the series to learn even more. I wish you well on your tech journey and hope that you come back for more tech.